the things that happen in indie wrestling. Hey, hi, live stream. We're waiting. I haven't gotten a word from Mad Mike, so we're kind of getting that. But we do have some people here. We are officially pre-show right now, and for some reason, I was broadcasting on the Awesome Cast, so that was probably really confusing earlier.
You also posted a wrestling promo on the fishing thing this afternoon. I don't know if you realized that.
No.
You posted Dan's promo.
Oh no.
The OSHA one on the fishing. I meant to say like 5 hours ago.
Oh damn it! Oh damn it!
OSHA's relevant to fishing, right?
Oh,
I mean, safety first, I guess.
Like, oh damn it! Did I? Nope.
You did. I meant to tell you.
Fuck me.
You see it?
Deleting it now. I'll repost
Sorg,
it.
when a man works as hard as you do.
Oh.
You're running like 6 different things right now, man. Like it's.
So what was it that came up Sunday?
What came up Sunday?
Yeah.
What about what?
Didn't you have a gig or something?
Oh, Fight Underground debuted their show at 8:00 on Sunday, and I was like, guys, you realize there's NXT tonight. So, so I'm going to implore them that we move it to a different time during Backlash, or else I won't be available.
You guys put the wrong OSHA member on the show on Sunday.
Was it? I don't know what it was. Really, kind of. I was given a list and we pulled it together. So
I think that's such an interesting concept. I've been watching their stuff a lot, and I haven't made my way out there, but yeah, I think it's such a cool idea for like a promotion.
There's nowhere for us to make out to right now. Hold on, I gotta fix it. Hold on.
It's just neat. It's like Mortal Kombat, and that's really sweet.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun, and there's some cool stuff coming on. Yeah, can you tell that I was definitely working on both at the same time, Ronnie?
Yeah.
I was like, all right, edit this girl's interview about moving to New York in the middle of the pandemic. Okay, now throw some wrestling promos up. I'm sure we won't cross any streams here.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Mixed up at all.
You did about 3:30 this afternoon.
Yeah,
but like I didn't say anything about it.
That was like 4:30 because I had like exactly a half an hour to try to do some wrestling promos, and I got like 3 of them done, and apparently fucked them. And I need to check the other schedules. Thanks for that.
For some reason, I'm still an admin on the Wrestling Mayhem show.
Yeah, why is that?
Because you remember when I did the live show at the Comic-Con last fall?
Oh, we never turned it off.
Yeah, so can you take me off there so the notifications of, like the music violations and stuff don't pop up?
What music violations?
You got another strike about a music violation.
What are you talking about?
in one of the promos, like it popped up saying,
Listen, how are you not getting the notifications about music violations and just screen capping them and yelling violation at me on Messenger?
I didn't think about that, but I can't actually. You know what? Just leave me as an admin, so I can just keep doing that.
Okay. Oh my god, I don't know why I haven't been recording this stuff. So checklist: don't post Dan Sandwich promos to Fishing Without Bait. Got it.
Unless Dan is fishing with bait and doing
unless
promos.
He's fishing with. I can't keep up with this. Mad Mike is messaging me. I can't remember where all to put the link. I put it in the Slack, guys.
That's where I found it.
Where? He wants it over on Hangout. Like we have got to.
We can go to Hangouts.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Like we're not using Hangouts anymore. Hangouts are
6 months ago.
Hangouts are they're so 6 months ago.
We're not broadcasting yet, are we?
No, we've been broadcasting since after we talked about that one thing.
Sure. Oh.
Yeah, we're not talking about that one thing anymore. That's
gotcha.
I do want more information about that one thing.
The one thing.
I was going to mention another thing, but it's not important.
That thing I sent you.
That happened. That thing you sent me. That thing that. Oh, jeez.
Oh, Harvey Birdman, attorney at law.
There he is.
Hello.
Mad Mike is with us. Mike, you've missed a lot of fun. Did you know that Ronnie has been receiving violations on music on our account?
I assume Ronnie gets violations for pretty much everything. So
okay, all right.
That's not that surprising.
Well, now I'm just going to screenshot them and send it to you guys with a violation included in it.
Okay. All right, please forward all violations to goodtimes@wrestlingmayhemshow.com, care of Ronnie Starks.
It's just a random cat. Hello, kitty cats.
Yep.
Hello.
There you go.
Have we officially started yet?
No.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, we were waiting on you.
Oh, sorry. I was eating
sorry.
dinner.
I dropped
and for some reason, the links in the Google Calendar thing don't work anymore.
They broke.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. They're not there anymore.
You keep sending it through Slack, and I keep telling you I don't have Slack on my laptop.
Oh, jeez.
I have several pairs of Slacks.
Yeah.
Why can't we all just get along and be on the same platform? Hold on a second.
Well, I have Slack, but it's a
Remind me
work
to put
Slack.
Dan Sandwich on the right account at 11:30 p.m.
So,
also, Dan Sandwich is a name I get to say in my reminders. This is the world I live in right now.
yeah, this is our lives.
Make sure you take care of
Just
that
don't
promo.
mess it up and say San Danwich.
Like, hey, did you take
I
care
like
of that
that.
promo with Beastman in the poop? Yes, I did.
Why are there so many poop-related wrestling promos? It's almost as if
Are
we're
there
all
more?
very immature.
It was legit, and I kid you guys not, and I know we're live, but I'm going to say it anyway. I went to the bathroom at the Diamondplex last week, and there was literally shit on the floor.
Who is doing this?
Somebody took a shit
Who's
on the
been
floor.
there? Who's been
Bad
there the
shitter.
last 3 months?
I don't know, but I'm literally like, there's a shit on the floor.
Jeez.
Listen, my day job is in a public school setting.
Oh
so
no! Oh no!
That's
Plenty
not,
of shits.
Yeah,
Plenty of
that's
shits
not
for you.
weird.
That's just
at all.
discovering like inventive new ways of shits. We actually had a shit related story on the show yesterday.
That's pretty weird.
Who was Potter was telling me about, because he was a referee. Sonny Landell, is that the guy that Gregory Iron was talking about this week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he got to tell his side of the story of the shit left in the ring at Cleveland All Pro. So I encourage you to seek out or avoid that part of Indy Mayhem show this week.
It's there.
He literally took a shit in the ring.
Yeah. Well, they did like 2 moves, and it was like, oh fuck,
I shit my pants.
It's one of those like something's wrong in the match kind of things, and they thought he was injured, and it was like, no, there's a shit in the ring. So, yeah.
Well, how many of us can say that we've crapped our pants in the ring? I know I have.
Twice.
Yeah, twice.
Twice.
I took a kick from Tony Johnson.
Oh.
And off the bump, I shit my pants. In the middle
no. We talked about, and I actually got to ask the Blue Meanie about this, about him shitting his pants down at the Ice Garden against Eric Ecstasy.
Nice.
Mine was laying in the ring. The one I remember. I know I did it one other time, but it was like eons ago, right? This one was like maybe 7 years ago, and I took a middle rope back senton from a guy that was like 260, something like that. It was all game over after that.
I've heard at that point it's no longer called a senton, it's called a crouton.
Yeah, it was pin me, pay me. That's what that was.
So did he like roll you up like a toothpaste bottle when he landed on you and you shit yourself that way?
It was real bad. It was like a colonic, but free.
Tina's
where it's like, had you known, you know that was.
Yeah.
Tina's in the chat.
I'm glad I was wearing the black gear. Let's.
Yeah.
This guy wore the brown pants.
Tina says she almost stepped in adult shit at the transit center this morning. So there's that. Everybody's got a shit story.
One of my coworkers at Toys R Us legit slipped in child's pee in the aisle. And then we found it on the security video, and you better believe my ass saved it.
Our
As you
local
do.
Walmart had a phantom crapper for like 4.5 years.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
They would just you'd walk down aisles, and this was a regular occurrence. I discovered it on more than one occasion. I don't even work there. You'd be walking down an aisle, and you would just smell it, and you'd be like, he was here. And so this dude for years was coming in, finding an aisle where no one was there, clearing a spot on the shelf, pooping, and then hiding it.
Ew.
Jeez. Okay, let's
This
talk
is
about.
fantastic.
Did they get the Scooby-Doo detective agency on that?
It took like 4 years to find the guy.
Yeah.
He ended up he had problems.
Why can't we? Why can't we find the guy who's literally leaving his DNA everywhere around the store?
Yeah,
it's expensive, the DNA test poop.
Omar's not going to pay for that. Yeah.
Do you know who would discover this? Detective Ronnie Starks. That's who.
Chief
Ronnie Starks. Oh, geez, are we going to expand the Lawless and Order faction? You're going to be. Are you going to be?
I love this.
He's gruff, but it's because he cares. You know?
Ronnie, how many factions are you going to be in at the end of this?
If he could just keep David Hetfield under control, it's tough, man. Once they make detective, they can just kind of do what they want.
Yeah,
guys, it's
you
okay now.
think you can play by your own rules. You know, you think you're in a force of one.
I have a very important announcement. Edge is in a movie with Frazier and Joey and Matthew Lawrence.
What the fuck?
What's it called?
And Thomas Jane's in it too.
And Thomas, yeah.
All right, I'm on board now.
Thomas Jane and Denise Richards, but Frazier and Matthew and Joey Lawrence.
Is it
That's
Sharknado?
very strange to me, considering.
Andrew Lawrence. We have a Lawrence trifecta, ladies and gentlemen.
It's weird to me, considering how much Frazier hates professional wrestling, that he would want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Do you ever hear the stories from the guys down at the Performance Center? He would regularly call the police on them, all the time.
Wait.
You didn't know?
He doesn't know what to do with those tossed salad and scrambled ham and eggers.
Kelsey Grammer used to live next to the Performance Center down there, and I don't know if it was the old building. I think it was the old building, but he didn't like the noise and he hated wrestling. He thought it was stupid, and when they would jog around the block, he would call the cops and report them as stalkers. And all kinds of crazy stuff. They hated him.
That's
wow.
I was about to say, I thought McHale's Navy was stupid, but he was in Down Periscope. He wasn't.
and to be fair,
Down Periscope.
Down Periscope is a treasure. Down Periscope is a treasure. It is.
Down Periscope won the simultaneous submarine comedy face-off. You know.
Yeah.
It was like Armageddon and Deep Impact. Those two movies.
In a battle of Volcano and Dante's Peak.
Yeah.
Why does that happen so much?
Because
Well, you mean White House Down and Olympus Has Fallen? I don't know why.
I don't know, but Olympus Has Fallen has turned into a fucking 3-movie franchise.
Yeah. I watched the third one and I'm like,
we're living White House Down, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I watched the third one and I'm like, I don't think I saw the middle one. Wait a minute.
I didn't know there were 3 of them.
Yeah,
that's news to me.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you could probably watch them.
Yeah, no, it did. I don't think it took away from the movie not having watched the London one. But
but I don't understand.
Really, it's like, oh no, this guy's seen some shit with it and Morgan Freeman, and that's all I need to know.
Morgan Freeman.
Taking your own life in your hands by having Gerard Butler around, because horrible shit always seems to happen when he's there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You're either really lucky or you're really unlucky that he's there. You know.
So this is a really bad joke, so I'm gonna apologize in advance for this. But we were sitting around yesterday, and I was still really sore from the weekend, and they were showing that you can watch Selma for free for the next month. And my brother had never seen it, but he was just like, oh man, it seems like from the footage and stuff, he's a lot younger than me. He's like, man, it looked really rough. I said, yeah, it was. And it said, I can't remember who it said it was directed by. And he's like, oh man, that's probably really good. He goes, they should remake it, directed by Zack Snyder. And I was like, it'd basically still be the same movie. It was pretty bad. You know what I mean? I was like, it was not a good scene, guys.
And to be fair, remaking anything with Zack Snyder is not a good idea.
No.
It's usually just the same movie in slow motion. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And with much darker skies.
With Gerard Butler, though.
Well, it's funny though. Is speaking of that, I remember when Wonder Woman came out, and that was the first one of those movies to not have Snyder's fingerprints on it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, oh wow, it's colorful and fun and stuff. And then Justice League came out a few months later, and you had some scenes that were virtually identical to what was going on in Wonder Woman, and it's like night and day. You know, because Zack Snyder uses that piss yellow filter on everything.
Yep.
So it just drained, the stuff in Wonder Woman.
And they're all upskirt shots too.
Yeah.
That being said, I love 300, and I will fight people over it.
I'm with you.
But the fact that he applies that to every movie he does.
Yeah, no, 300 was fine, but that's like making you want to make a gritty Spider-Man movie. I'm like,
but even
it doesn't work that well.
I even liked Watchmen quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
but my problem with that, I mean, not even a problem, is that it was so. I mean, except for the end, it was basically like so close of an adaptation that there were no surprises to be had.
Yeah.
You know,
Did you watch the HBO show?
Yeah,
yes.
Man,
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because it was like, okay, it's gonna be like a sequel or something. Yeah, like once it sets up, but then it's like, oh wow, and it's an origin story, and it's like you see how something you wouldn't have thought of was kind of the origin of the Watchmen universe.
It was really cool, and it's
I
so
want to say
relevant.
something, but I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it.
Oh,
no, it's some good
Because
stuff.
honestly,
all right,
anyone who hasn't seen it,
please
don't
do.
fucking watch it.
Please do.
It's really great.
Also, maybe read the book.
Gun to my head. It was pretty good.
And
Zach, what's with this new catchphrase? I don't know what that's about.
It's like,
oh boy,
he keeps throwing it around. It's like
I'm glad and upset that I understood that reference.
Yeah. Anyways, let's start talking about wrestling. I mean, I guess we already did.
Was that a good segue?
That was a good segue. Let's actually start the show. All right. This hasn't been the show.
Yeah, we haven't even started yet.
No, we haven't.
It's been a show.
No, we haven't. We'll just put all that for the gold later and for everybody hanging out. So, hey, please, if you're watching us live right now, wherever you may be, we're in a lot of places. Please like, share, watch party is very helpful as well. Get some people in here. Let's have some fun tonight. Okay, guys? Okay. Uh-oh. Apparently, what the hell? Please confirm subscription. I got a message from Riz. Don't tell me what to do, Sorg, because apparently he signed up for the mailing list for IndieWrestling.us. All right. For reals. There's a record. I'm not going to fuck it up this show. What episode is this?
Oh, shit.
I'm on it.
October.
No. All right, here we go. It is the Wrestling Mayhem Show 718 Tuesdays. We've been talking about professionalized wrestling. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studio in Pittsburgh, PA. And we are ready to have some fun here tonight and back at it. And we've already had about half an hour of chatting here on the live stream, of course. That's how we do. That's why you should join us here every Tuesday. But joining us right now, first of all, he is the only Mayhemmer on the card with a future endeavor letter from the WWE. Unless our new guest tonight has something he hasn't told me. He is in Beacon, New York under strict lockdown, I believe still. One Mad Mike.
Sorg, I have a Lego update.
You do have a Lego update. You did have one last night.
I didn't. That's because when we got off last night, I'm like, you know what? I should build some Legos.
Okay. Oh, shit.
So I've made another part of the larger Hogwarts castle, complete with Professor Moody's Defense Against the Dark Arts class.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Nice.
It's pretty great. Not too much really to speak of in this update, but it's the little details. Like there's a book that opens up and teaches you how to cast Wingardium Leviosa.
For those unfamiliar, this is what we do usually on Monday nights on the show.
Yeah,
on the Monday Mayhem Wrestling Wrap Up.
I'm on board, guys. I'm currently, as we speak, on the side. So every time you see me glance to the right, I'm working on my custom morpher.
Look at that!
I just got my custom green labels in, and I was just telling Sorg how people who cosplay as Power Rangers are very mean people and were not very nice to me when I was asking for advice on how to do this.
And that's not just Tyler Klein?
No. See, Tyler's not a real fan because he's a Blue Ranger, and I don't have any respect for those.
Whoa, that voice.
So we got a Billy Basher in the house.
I like Billy, but Tyler has actually turned me against all Blue Rangers because he's mean to me.
Oh no!
Okay.
That new voice, if you're on the podcast, is the White Rabbit, Zack Rayne, Eclipse champion, and also a part of the Prospect Pro Wrestling roster. Joining us, how you doing, sir?
I am great. I love coming on here. This is my third. Is this my third time?
Your third time. We had you on a quarantine thing. What else did we do with you? Were you on a watch along or something?
Maybe that's what it might be.
That was a 2PW thing.
This is the first time official. Don't get cocky. Okay?
Hey, listen.
Careful, kid.
I'm just happy about it.
You're just the gunner in the Falcon, all right? Sorgan and I are Han and Chewie.
That's fine.
Let's not get it twisted.
Listen, I'm more of a Mandalorian anyway, and I was one before the series. Okay, so like, I'm OG.
This is your first encounter with Mad Mike, so this is the real trial by fire.
Honestly, me slyly insulting you at the same time having a shitty grin on my face is the best interaction with you.
I'm good. I'm friends with Bronco McBride, so there's literally nothing you could hurt me with.
They literally punch each other. They literally punch each other in the face for fun. That other voice is Rob. Cameraman Rob is with us back again. Hello, sir.
I watched wrestling.
You watched wrestling with your new cat.
A lot of wrestling.
With your new kitten.
Yeah. This is my kitten. Where's that?
That's great.
I don't know where. Yeah, this is Kimball. I just got her yesterday, and she's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yes.
So she's joining me on this, and she doesn't know what I'm doing, waving my phone in front of her, because she's 3 weeks old and she doesn't know how to use technology.
You'll get her there. Yeah, we can always use a new camera cat. Also, back on the show, we found Ronnie Starks. I feel like every time I see a "Where's Ronnie" post, I find you on the internet.
Well, stupid storyline. I got an update for you guys too, since you guys got cats and you got Power Rangers and you got Legos. I completed my Ghostbuster Kenner collection this week.
Nice.
I have everything now.
Nice. Was that figures? Was that just figures, or the vehicle was included? I wasn't sure.
I have all the figures right now.
Yes.
I just picked up a Haunted Highway ride.
Oh, I don't know that one.
It's the... You have it. It's the yellow one.
Oh, the thing we broke when I was trying to figure out how to...
Yeah, I just bought
a couple of weeks ago. This thing's been sitting in a box for 20 years. Open it up. I wonder how this works. Crack.
Yeah, we gotta fix that.
Yeah.
According to a lot of footage I've seen on the internet, Legos are a lot cheaper right now.
Yeah.
It depends on where / how you get them.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
But when those stores reopen, there's going to be a run on. I have a feeling people will be lined up for blocks.
Well, that kind of fine punnage is thanks to being on the Wrestling Mayhem Show. Please go check out this and more over at WrestlingMayhemShow.com, including the Monday Mayhem Wrestling Wrap-Up, where we just started talking about anime last night, actually. Also, Indy Mayhem Show. We got a great show coming up this week, already in the can, talking about the Devil Budokan book, which is out of my reach, to show you guys with our buddy Bobby Williams, Robert Parker Williams, whatever you want to call him, of his many names, and
Bobby Digital.
And Bobby Digital. I keep forgetting about Bobby Digital. Thank you, everybody, for reminding me about that one. And Glenn Spector, a surprise, joined us on the show too, which meant it obviously went nearly an hour, as we were talking about some good old Pittsburgh wrestling history. So I encourage you guys to go check that out when we launch it on the podcast stream later this week, or check out the live feed that was over on IndyWrestling.us Facebook as well. And I should probably really have the notes up. Please go drop us a line at that email address. Good times at WrestlingMayhemShow.com, 412-206-WMS0, at Mayhem on the Twitter, at Mayhem Show on the Twitter. Also, follow our Facebook page and our Wrestling Mayhem Show group. A lot of great things are happening with the group. We actually tried something different during the NXT In Your House pay-per-view, and we may do it again for Payback. Instead of us broadcasting something, we just opened up the Facebook rooms, which is a new feature over there in the group. So if you're part of that group, you can hop in and watch the show with us and chat with us about the pay-per-view. So that was, I just kind of started it and left, and everything went fine, Mike, right? So
it sure did for about 80% of it.
Good. Fantastic. So a lot of going on there. And of course, we're here live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time on Facebook Live. We're now also on Instagram. We're on the, a Periscope, Twitter, YouTube, and the Sorgatron Media Twitch page. So if you guys are over there, once again, please give a heart, give a favorite, a like, share the show, watch party of the show. If you're watching us now or later, please help other people find what we're doing over here on the Wrestling Mayhem Mayhem Show. Also, thank you to our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. Our good friends at the fan of the show level, Bo Diggity! Woo!
I knew that one.
As well as Ed Burke. First time, too. Ed Burke, Bobby F. J. Town, Team Hammerfist, our friends at the Poppy Club, Bradley Brothers, Dave Potter, Daniel Towery, and Tina Keys, and at the Pizza Club, Doc Remedy and Kyle Turner, and at the manager level, OccupyProWrestling.com and Farnsworth Investments. Thank you so much. You guys can support the show, too, at patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. Guys, there was some wrestling this weekend. There was some NXT in your house. We talked about it briefly last night on the Monday Mayhem, a wrap-up. I think everybody here has had a chance to watch it. It's NXT, so I figure most people would have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're good with it. What's that?
I had it on. I mean, I was paying attention and was watching it more at some points than others, but I saw the whole thing.
So we got to talk about the throwback on this one. I thankfully I did hop in, as I talked about last night. I did hop in and watch a little bit of the original In Your House again, because again, not terribly familiar with the In Your House era of shows. I've watched some matches here and there as recommended. But I love the 90s throwback that we did on this thing the entire night. I don't know if In Your House was already on the books as happening before all the plans have changed, but so happy they went with this. Ronnie, judging by your throwbackiness of your Ghostbusters Kenner complete collection over there, what were your thoughts on it?
I loved NXT. It was so good. I love the paid for by the following. And then they had, what was it, Icon Pro? Like the old logo?
Oh, God. Yeah. Ronnie. Ico Pro.
Ico Pro. Sorry.
And if you're going to say it, you have to say it with a British accent.
Icon Pro.
Consideration paid for by the following.
By the following.
But you have to do a Lord Alfred Hayes voice. You have to. That's just how this works.
Todd Pettengill on the show was great too. I popped for Todd Pettengill. It was great. I loved it. NXT was really good.
Todd Pettengill is still the best person they've ever had at doing Todd Pettengill's job.
Mm-hmm. I see what you did there. That was.
I mean, no, it's true. Like they've gotten many people to try and be Todd Pettengill. None of them are as good as Todd Pettengill.
You should give him his job back. Just
like him. You could do a fusion dance of Sam Roberts, Pierre Rosenberg, and fucking Pat McAfee, like a triple fusion of all of them, and they still would not be Todd Pettengill, but they'd be much easier to kill.
By the way, all those people
I don't think I could identify any of them in a police lineup.
There's that too. All of them were on the kickoff show too, and that was kind of brutal.
Yeah. I didn't watch the kickoff show for a reason.
It's not great. By the way, I was curious because you say you know as if Todd Pettengill is like destitute right now because he's not working in wrestling. He actually works most recently, according to his Wikipedia page, as a disc jockey in the New York area.
Sorg, that's what he did when he did the first In Your Houses.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah,
he never left.
He's a local New York DJ. Like. That's how they knew him.
There's so much crossover between wrestling announcer, like, well, I don't know if like even commentary and like disc jockeys, like Eclipse. I think 2 out of their 3 are local radio personalities, and I think one of the former ones also was. What? So it's like I feel like you just adapt to that.
Well, yeah. The ring announcer for RWA for so many years works with I think Star. When we did Prime Wrestling, there was some disc jockey guy that did an appearance. I did Vic Joseph now. I don't know if he might have came from radio as well.
Ted Hallowell.
Yeah, Ted, of course. Yeah, Ted that we know from Revenge and 2PW. That is a really tight crossover, isn't it?
Good voices, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. That is true.
Plus, you might
Ted's my favorite.
Like with radio too, it's like, there's maybe different things they have to do. Like say it's like, oh, you read news, you do whatever, where you're not always on. Maybe even if you do some character stuff or you've got a personality thing, Whereas it seems like maybe if you go right into like wrestling announcing or something, it's like maybe you're trying to force some stuff that's not. It's like get good at your job first and then
It's a general media thing because I'm thinking Mark Madden's, I'm thinking Bubba the Bulldog. You know, there's a lot that kind of crosses over there. Think our boy the Rev Ron Hunt and the great stuff that he does as a TV personality. Like I don't know. I guess those with PB. We had this conversation with PB Smooth. Like the wrestlers with communication degrees tend to figure out communicating a lot more between promos and media and social media, because that's kind of that all-inclusive world, right? So but no, that was great to see. And everything from like the original Mike and I were talking about last night about the upgrades of the Ring doorbell and the thermostat on the In Your House set,
and the portrait of Doc Hendricks,
and the portrait of Doc Hendricks.
Yeah, that was funny.
No, they had a lot of fun with that. And I think that's what they need. I love that in a pinch, like WWE seems to trend towards the goofy.
And I was just thinking too, like, okay, yeah, they just dug that shit out of the warehouse.
Oh yeah.
And so, which makes me wonder, are we gonna get like at least part of a Backlash set?
No.
Can I get the giant hooks? The giant hooks that they swang on the one year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
the size of the center.
There's a very specific reason why we're not getting that.
Yeah.
Because the Backlash has to focus on the greatest professional wrestling match in all of history.
I hope it's like a 2-second match.
Yeah.
Like,
I hope the bell sounds and Orton kicks him in the dick.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like,
I'm not watching out of protest to how he acted about the NXT show.
What did he say, Zach, that got you so upset?
So here's my thing: is like I don't get to watch a lot of the product anyway. Like I'll specifically turn it on to watch guys that like I know, like obviously like Seth Rollins was like I knew him obviously like way before he was on TV and stuff. Then so like I try to watch his stuff and a lot of NXT because like there's a million of our friends on there now, but like. Okay, it's one thing to criticize and be like, oh, I don't really care for the super indie, or oh, they don't sell enough. But like, just to blatantly be a jerk and be like, what was it? I'm slapping my leg for you guys. Good job. Is that what he said?
I think so.
Yeah, like I forget who. Someone responded to that with the
Tommaso Ciampa.
Well, no, but beyond Ciampa, there was someone else who responded with a video of The Rock punching Eddie Guerrero and slapping his leg with every punch. So, and they're like, yeah, leg slapping really did nothing for this guy except make him the world's biggest Hollywood star.
I responded to it, and I mean, not that anybody cares. I'm a D-list celebrity, as we all are. But I just said, I was like, hey, do some more headlocks. Can you do some more headlocks, please?
Don't ask him to do more headlocks. I do have to watch it, unfortunately.
I did like his promo last night, though, when he comes out. Well, it wasn't really or interview segment where he comes out and it's like, Charlotte, between you and me, like there might be somebody else coming out for like.
But see, the thing is, he didn't.
Yeah, I know, but
and Charlie, oh, poor Charlie, she was counting on her fingers. I'm like, Charlie, it's 2. You don't have to fucking count it. Like, that's literally the least subtle Randy Orton has ever been about anything.
So real quick, just to recap what he said. The tweet in question is heard NXT Takeover in Your House was great. Slapping my leg for you guys, and seriously #leg slap. Apparently, Ciampa replied, "My daughter has been having some trouble sleeping. Luckily, I found a remedy. Randy Orton matches better than NyQuil. Sincerely, #an entire locker room who busted their asses." So, yeah. So that's
and to be fair, that's not fair to Randy Orton. His promos can also help cure insomnia.
Okay. There you go.
True.
Like literally anything after his program with Mick Foley puts me right out.
I feel so bad about it too, because I remember, like, again, like it's showing my age, but like the Legend Killer phase was like my jam. Like I really liked that. I thought it was good, and then everything since, I'm like, it's just not as good.
No,
yeah, because I've been rewatching some of the stuff from that era, like that 2004, 2005, 2006, and it's like, it's crazy that it's like, oh, that was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, that was 15 years ago, 16 years ago and stuff. So that stuff that like you really liked, you know, it's like, wow, that was the beginning.
Yeah, Ronnie?
The dude's awesome. Like, he is a solid American style professional wrestler. He's I mean, and look at everything he's done. But man, boy, do I miss the old gimmick.
Ronnie, you're trying to say?
I was gonna say, the older we get, the more we realize how boring Randy Orton really is.
Hey, Ronnie, I knew how boring he was in 2004. Okay, I knew Randy Orton worked up to his opponent and then stopped. Like, oh my god! When one of your signature moves coming up is the same thing that Rugged Ronnie Garvin did, you really need to recontextualize everything. Because, you know, not for nothing, everyone gave Cena shit all the time. Cena busted out a springboard stunner when he was filming Bumblebee, for fuck's sake. Like, he didn't have to do that shit. Cena was getting ready for fucking franchises. He didn't have to bust out a springboard stunner or a code red. Randy's like, guys, I have a new headlock. This time I crank the neck.
That's good shit, brother. That's good headlocks.
Wow. How many guys do you see do their bump and feed without moving their feet? Like, it makes me so angry every time. I've literally turned I don't get to watch the main product as much as I'd like, but every single time I see a standing still bump and feed, I change the channel. Like, that's that.
Well, maybe he just said because it was easier for the 2K animators to come up with.
I'm just imagining. You ever played the game Pit Fighter?
Yes.
30 years ago. Well, it's one of the first like digitized characters, you know, where they don't animate above the legs. I think, you know, it's just literally a static guy just literally moving, just left and right, and not leaving their feet, not showing any kind of emotion.
Like, Randy Orton's biggest spot that he's had in the past 5 years was catching Jeff Hardy from the top of the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Like, that's been his biggest spot, and he literally just was like, oh, got him. That was it. And that was the finish of that match.
Or when was it? No, it was like WrestleMania 30, so it was like 6 years ago. The pop-up RKO on Rollins. Oh, no, that was 31.
That was 31.
That was pretty, yeah. That's
standing in one place, putting his arm up, and falling down.
Like, and he gets so much credit for the fucking Evan Bourne one. I'm like, no, Evan Bourne gets credit for the Evan Bourne one. Like, come on.
Evan did all the work, and Randy's just like, oh, okay, I got you.
And that was still just a big flying nothing, too.
Yeah.
That was like, I'm jumping into this move. Hey, it's a great, athletic move, but I have no idea what it was intended to really be.
Well, guys, if you want something that a little more exciting, or people that if you see a lazy bump and feed, Zach will probably personally say something to them about. So you can check out what's going on over at indywrestling.us. I know it's been a little quiet with the lack of wrestling shows over the last several months, but we've been doing a lot of content there. So a little bit of stuff going over on the Indie Wrestling Network, and of course you got that big back catalog. I know some people have been diving in the last couple of years of Rise Wrestling, Prospect, basically the entire run of Prospect Pro Wrestling, and you can see our boy Zack Rayne here as a part of that. You can see Ronnie Starks in the many places that he shows up as well, and all of our friends over there. And also, of course, the big news that dropped here this past Sunday is the return of new wrestling to the internet, as Prospect Pro Wrestling's training sessions concluded recently, and that first match is actually going to be debuting Wednesday night on Prospect Pro Wrestling social media. It'll be a live premiere over there on the Facebook page for Prospect Pro Wrestling, so I encourage everybody to go check that out. And a part of that, there's a lot of really interesting stuff going on, including the quarantine challenge, and I know we don't know quite yet, Zach, your partner over there, but we do know that you are in the debut match that is going on tomorrow night on that Facebook page with a submission match with, we've mentioned him, I forget if it was on show or before show, your violent friend Bronco McBride over there.
Friend is a very strong word. Most people, it's frenemies is how we're referred to, but I don't know a more accurate way to depict it, so we'll go with that.
So, we've been talking about kind of the evolution of what WWE, AEW has been doing with these empty arena kind of situations. And again, everybody's kind of adapting to things, and this is an opportunity for the roster of 2PW to kind of get together. It was kind of a celebration of the end of the official lockdown, that at least like a group could gather and move forward and do some stuff with wrestling. How was that to kind of wrestle just in front of your peers there?
I'll tell you what, I thought it was going to be weird because like I've been very vocal. Like I'm thrilled that they're still wrestling. I'm thrilled that everyone that's making their full living at it is still doing it, and that the fans have something to watch. Because I can't remember who it was, but one of the indie guys said, I grew up being made fun of because wrestling was fake, and now it's the only real sport left. Screw you. And I thought it was fantastic. I was like, that goes on your tombstone. But 2PW was different, like, and it always is. Like I am adamant, like out of all the places I've worked, it's my favorite place. And the roster is probably a big part of that. Like they were so supportive of each other that it was unreal. Like I know that like even certain matches, like once everybody kind of got used to it, I think we were just as happy as everybody else was. Like people were clapping, and like there were a couple matches that were really good too. And you would think like you'll always hear the guys that are like, how's the gate, guys? We'll see what I'll do tonight. There was no gate, and we like some of the guys went just as hard as they would in front of a couple hundred people. I think everybody was thrilled to be in the ring.
And I know like a lot of people kind of I'm seeing training sessions and things like that, and of course in those I know there's practice matches and things like that, but like this was kind of no pomp and circumstance, just like seeing if everybody can get used to it. Most people, we've talked about so many times over the quarantine gatherings that we've had on Indy Mayhem show. I was like, man, what's going to happen at that first bump for a lot of you guys?
Were you standing out there when I just walked, like I think it was right before the first match, that like my first training match or whatever, and I went out and I just like bumped as hard as I could, and everybody was like, why'd you do that? And I was like, I want to make sure I'm not going to throw up.
yeah, that's I missed that. I mean, probably setting up my own stuff, but jeez. And I feel like I didn't feel like a lot of people got in there and did that, like for warm-ups. Like I didn't see a lot of people doing that.
Well, 90% of the roster are like 20 years old. Like they're all still invincible. When somebody asked me at the end of the night, they're like, "Hey, how do you feel?" And I said, like a 35-year-old man who hasn't wrestled in 3 months and then wrestled 3 times in 3 hours.
I was gonna say too, and kind of given the circumstances of doing the shows this way, we didn't have like the full roster. I mean, like most of the guys were there, and kind of since it's been 3 months since there's been anything, and then we don't really know when there's going to be anything else. It's like there were like a lot of matchups that you wouldn't quite think we'd have, or it's like different kind of guys mixing it up that normally maybe weren't before. That it's a good time to kind of again train and see who works with who that you might not have thought of before.
Yeah, and then there's some irresponsible monster that decided that me and Bronco should fight each other.
Just for the heck of it. So
there were a lot of bad decisions made on that.
Yeah.
Me versus Bronco with no fans. Putting 2 members of the Bro Force on a team, and also putting Chest Flexor in that match.
I don't want to spoil too much. We're actually going to do a reveal on
I'm
sorry.
I'm
No,
sorry.
it's okay. We're going to reveal a lot of the quarantine matchups, the teams, because it's actually a lethal lottery situation for a tournament. So that will be revealed. We're going to schedule to actually put that on Saturday over on 2PW's Facebook page. So keep an eye out for that. And I can tell you that there's about 2.5 months of matches coming up here that's going on there. So it was kind of an interesting look at way to do things. You know, obviously things are kind of crazy, figuring out what the next steps are things. And I'm glad you guys come out and have some fun for a day, and hopefully some stuff for the fans. So what was what was your biggest takeaway from the day doing it that way? Did you learn something about yourself?
So I got to talk to some of the younger guys, which was cool. Like, I know that like Miles and Isaiah Wolf and a couple of the fresh guys, like under a year, were like, this is really rough. And I was like I like had to think for a minute. I'm like, oh man, yeah, like it's until you wrestle tournament style, like for a while, I don't think people get a feel for that. Like,
yeah,
I think you guys remember because you guys were Man-Child fans, right? Is that?
we were, but I only got to see him the first time that show that I came out and saw you guys the ladder match and the cage match and everything.
So like AON from Johnstown, like whenever I worked for them, they cut their teeth on that Thunder Cup tournament, which was a three-day long like tournament, and you didn't wrestle 3 times. You wrestled like the winner will have like wrestled 7 times in the weekend.
Jeez.
So like when you get like brought in for that, you know, we definitely got used to like getting like, we didn't pace ourselves either. We were all young, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I think the first time you wrestle multiple times in a day, like you're like, oh my God. Yeah, it was.
I wouldn't even bump anymore. And you're like, hey, we wrestled 7 times. And I'm like, I ain't bumping for anybody anymore.
I'll tell you what, I think like as far as like big positives, it was how well that company's running. Like, I know I sing the praises of that company like absurdly often, but like between you and Marshall and everybody doing pictures and commentary and everything else, and like when they told me how much was going to get fit into that short period of time, I honestly was like not optimistic about it being successful, like as far as getting everything done.
Yeah.
And man was I wrong. It was awesome.
Yeah.
That's like on a good day, it's like sometimes it's hard, you know, like it's having to chase people down to do things and stuff like that. But yeah, it was everything worked out fairly well.
It makes me laugh how much like your presence on shows, like how much the guys like you, like everybody, and not that I don't like, but I mean like no one wants to disappoint you, like, you know what I mean? Like, no, for real, like that is such a huge thing. Like everybody's like, well, I don't want Sorg to have to do this, or I don't want to mess up and him to have to do this, or I don't want to make Sorg mad. Like, it's so funny. It cracks me up. Like, even me, like I came to you with the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because there was a conversation of like, hey, you know, there's no fans. If things screw up, that thing, and then there's a thing. I could say I've never had to reshoot a wrestling match before.
It was like, hey guys, go out there and try stuff you normally don't do. Well, we normally,
Yeah.
Famous last words.
Yeah, things you're afraid of doing in front of fans, we can probably try them now. I mean, if it goes bad, nobody sees it, right?
See if we get that in the meeting again, right?
except for the news in this instance.
Yeah,
potentially.
You know, I sure am excited about this.
Let's move on before we get the Marshall Gambino sweating out there somewhere. Anyways, it's a very interesting time. There's a lot of good content that's going to come on with that, and it was a very interesting experiment. And it's not the last one, guys. Trust me. You know, whether 2PW, a lot of other interesting stuff in the lineup in the coming weeks and months as before. You know, we're still in this thing. I guess an update. I don't know that we've talked about much on this show. I think I meant to last week. Obviously, you know, things were kind of tumultuous last week to talk about, you know, wrestling, but we are currently in this state, at least in Pennsylvania, in a we may be allowed to have wrestling shows mid-July, after mid-July, if approved by the government, basically. And I just read a statement that I believe Tina shared today, that Ohio is saying pretty much flat out no boxing, MMA, pro wrestling until at least September. No ifs, ands, or buts. And in Pennsylvania, even if we got here in Pennsylvania, we're talking about everybody needs a COVID test, all these other things in order to do that. And, of course, the cost that comes with that, insurances and everything else that's going to come on, basically makes that already thin margin for people trying to run indie wrestling shows pretty much impossible from it. Not
like all those hoops. Yeah. It's almost like it's for every good thing. There's a balance to that.
And I can't really fault a lot of the government. I understand this is a safety issue. This is an unprecedented thing that is happening right now, and they at least give an option. But also it's the athletic commission that is for all sports and ones with bigger budgets, and indie wrestling is kind of the redheaded stepchild of that. So
I would rather them tell me to piss off than tell me, hey, I hope you don't mind spending $100 out of your pocket to go wrestle a show. Hey guys, I'm not here to pay to play, okay?
Yeah.
So no, Pennsylvania, no Governor Wolf. I will not give you $100 of my money or $200 of my money to work 2 shows a weekend. If you guys need me, I will be in West Virginia working for people where I don't have to pay money to work.
Yes,
there's a lot of companies talking about that. I know that I think 3 rosters that I'm on right now have already said depending on how things go, they'll just drive 2 hours south and they'll run anyway.
We're gonna be a lot of promotions just along that Mason-Dixon line all the way down the way.
and as far as the costs are concerned too, it's say what was it? It's at least $100 a test, whatever, which even if you could run a full show or if you had a full RWA show of 300 people, off of ticket sales, maybe that could cover that. But when it's it's one of those. Good news, you can do it. Bad news, it costs you money. But good news, you're probably going to have a sold-out show. Bad news, a sold-out show now isn't the same as a sold-out show before. So it's all the, 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, or whatever.
I'm with Ronnie on this too. I would honestly, I would have felt better if they would have just said, guys, we're not doing it. Yeah. Because again, you want to really get Zack Rayne going, let's get me on capitalism. So the rich, the rich promotions get to wrestle.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Which I mean, what WWE can start coming through town, I guess. But even it's questionable. There was a statement.
What was that, guys? Let me get changed real quick. Hold on.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
What? Where did Zack Rayne go? Zack Rayne was right there, but now I don't see Zack Rayne.
Yeah.
That was rather anonymous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's not get too deep in that. I don't want to get targeted.
Oh, wait, there he
is. Hey, guys, we don't need to build any vendettas with anyone, okay?
That was a good movie. Anyway.
I just watched it again the other night.
Anyways, yeah, it's probably a good watch right now for context. But very topical, very yeah. Damn it, I had it. Oh yeah, so your AEW's and W's. Well, even so, this is a statement that I saw. Shared this in the group over the last week. So Triple H was talking about things and talking about how they were going to start testing for their talents, which is
3 months into it.
What
the
hell?
fact that they haven't tested them already is just unprofessional and completely mind blowing to me. Where I'm
on that level, I understand indie wrestling dancing around this because of budgetary concerns. But you are WWE and talking about how you care for your people and doing all this safety and putting up glass.
And considering all the strings you figured they had to pull to be a essential business anyway, and that was 2 months ago, right? 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So, and you would think that would be kind of rolled into that was part of it.
Yeah.
But now it's you're just finding out. Oh no, it wasn't. Well, then what the hell was going on? Yeah.
Well, some of our boys up there don't have health insurance either. They're just like us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true too. That is unfortunately true as well.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I don't know. And the argument can be back and forth on how reasonable it is to do wrestling now with the environment and that's the thing. The things that have happened. Ronnie, you've been on shows in West Virginia. Zach, obviously you with doing stuff with a promotion. This is all like, thankfully the discussions that I've seen is to say, if you're not comfortable with this, it's okay. And even some people I talk to around these events have been like, are still there, but still half and half on it for whatever reason, So, I was worried about it because I still don't want to go to a Walmart. I get weird going into Sheets and half the people don't have masks on, right? And I mean that's just me, and that's my anxiety levels around everything going on. But something about being, maybe just because it was people we knew or things like that, seeing a lot of familiar faces was it helped ease back in a little bit.
It was, but I'll tell you what, like, it was weird because I did go back and forth on it whether or not I was going to do it, because I haven't done anything really. Like, I work as a security and like threat assessment specialist, like for my like everyday job. So this ironically,
So this is your wheelhouse, huh?
So yeah, but like it was weird not shaking anybody's hands. Like we were bowing and like elbow bumping and stuff. Like, but it was still like people kind of kept their distance. They cleaned everything, so like it kind of put me a little bit more at ease. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a big thing. Those curious, we do have a video that I will hopefully have up by the end of the week. But we talked about, because there were a lot of cleaning measures that were taken. Like it got wiped down between every match, all that kind of stuff. So it was a lot of good, to make people feel comfortable with what was going on there. So. And hopefully people enjoy that. So, and that's the thing. I've said from the beginning of this around all businesses. The people that are going to thrive right now are the ones that are going to be inventive, creative with solutions. If they're affected by everything going on, everything from driving by a restaurant, or ironically, the place where I saw midget wrestling several years ago here in the area, and seeing circles painted in the parking lot so they can have outdoor seating. Right. I mean, utilizing those, seeing a Clark's concert is having at our drive-in, seeing even a pro wrestling show, I think happened in West Virginia at a drive-in theater of some sort. Like, that is the kind of stuff that's going to help move that ball forward, until we are potentially through this situation to not, I don't want to call it normalcy, but just to kind of get back to some version of stuffed animals in the audience at baseball, whatever that is. So
Can we green screen an audience?
You didn't see. Wait. Rob had an idea.
I had.
Rob, were you the one presenting me with the old the
AWA Team Challenge Series pilot with the bad 1990 era CG, just type up AWA Team Challenge Series pilot entrance,
I'm gonna pull
or
this
something
up.
like that, and it's some bad it looks like Tron.
Oh my god, dude! I'm gonna throw this up on the video feed for you.
Which for AWA, only being about 10 years behind the time at that point, is pretty good.
So Zach, this is what he said that we should have done for the entrances for everybody in empty arena matches. So if you're on audio, it's the guy is walking up and he's green screened on, and there's like two fake video walls of audiences, and I guess it's just a dark arena with no audience, right?
Essentially.
So,
I mean,
from the looks of things.
like I compare the entrance to, it's like, you're playing WWF Warzone or
Yeah.
Attitude or something, and it's just like everything just looks completely fake, and it is.
That's awesome.
Wow.
I'm down. We talked about because I have access to some of the Eclipse stuff, because the promoter, we've worked together forever now, and it's taking everything in us to not just borrow the ring. And our initial idea not too long ago was to get Corey Futuristic and have him run the promotion, and it be all time machine stuff. Me and Ryan Colby from LCW were going to be George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. We were going to be the founding fathers. And we wanted to do like
first NWA champ, wasn't he?
Dude, my submission is the Lincoln Lock. He was he was 20-0.
Jeez. Oh
but
man.
He got taken down from behind.
Yeah.
Hey.
Womp
womp.
I was gonna say he passed away at an untimely, relatively early age.
Pearl Harbor.
Oh.
I mean, you know.
A shotgun kick to the back.
No, that's a shoot.
Oh.
No. If there's never no more gun references.
I think we need to return up is the match that was at Uncensored or whatever, where it was Dustin Rhodes and Blacktop Bully.
Oh,
the King of the Road match.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not talking. No.
They're just in the back of a truck.
No, we're not talking about that.
Oh, we've had our time with that match.
My buddy Shane, when he first got the WWE Network, he's like, "Hey man, you have to watch this match." And so I'm watching it, and I watched it. I'm like, "This is the worst fucking thing I've ever seen."
Yeah.
And oh god, I can't believe you brought that up because now it's haunting my mind right now.
See, I'm just thinking, it's like if you keep it on the, keep things moving, it's.
Hey, just like WWE, what did I say? Whoever is the most creative.
Yeah.
And people are going to keep trying different things to keep relevant while there's no like regular professional wrestling in the majority of the United States.
Or which Japanese promotion had the matches out on the water?
Oh, I remember us sharing those. Yeah. And I wasn't sure.
All you got to do, like WWE, if they go far enough off the coast of Florida and they're in international waters. Yeah.
Listen, can we not do wrestlers in bodies of water right now? Yeah. Please.
Wait, yeah.
I still can't believe Jericho is
relatively fresh.
I still can't believe Jericho's still planning on doing his cruise. I'm
like,
no.
I'm not buying that ticket.
That's not a good idea. You may as well call it Corona Cruise.
Yeah. Because cruises are just germ farms to begin with, right?
I like as we go, Rob has a hand over his camera and has moved all over the place. It's like the rest of us are doing a podcast and Rob is just doing Blair Witch.
Sorry, I'm trying to catch up.
Eventually, when we do what we learn, he's just gonna be standing looking in the corner, and then it's gonna fade to black. Completely.
Yeah. Oh boy. Speaking of which. Speaking of moving on and getting to an ending eventually here, I want to give a shout out to our good friends at Slice on Broadway, helping support Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza for nearly 10 years here with us at Sorgatron Media. Our good friends down there, 4 locations here in the Pittsburgh area. Not all of you are here, I know, but several of you pass through because all roads lead to Pittsburgh. Let's be honest about it, especially in wrestling. It seems these days. We're talking about we were talking about some interesting history last night.
A lot of construction on those roads.
Yeah, there is a lot of construction on those, but it's okay. Ronnie's keeping you safe.
You're welcome, America.
There you go. Yeah. Go check out our friends sliceonbroadway.com and let them know the Mayhem Show sent you. All right, with that, we're going to go to this quick message, and we'll be right back with the big question. And we're going to learn something, too. Break real quick. Everybody good? We can just get going?
You had me on Slice on Broadway.
Do we have a big question?
What was with the homework match? Is that still happening?
Yeah,
yes, that is after the big question.
Or did you make me watch that for nothing?
No. Sorg.
I know you have extra credit.
Can I start with my analysis of the homework match?
Instead of the big question? Or you want me to...
No. Like when we do it, can I go?
What was it again?
It was
Sting DDP.
Sting DDP 99. April 99.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I remember now.
Nitro.
I'll throw that on.
You'll probably remember it if you don't.
How long was it? I can watch it right now.
Like 30. It's a long one.
Yeah, it's a long
one.
No,
don't have that kind of time.
Yeah, it is a long
one.
It's a long one. We'll just tell you about it.
All right. I'll do the homework next week.
I got a big question. I feel like we've done a version of this, but now that we have context, we'll do a version of this here. So hold on a second. give me a moment, and I do want to throw on. I should make sure we have audio this time for when we do the Edwin thing.
That'd be a good idea.
I'll be back.
So let me verify that real quick.
Wrestling Mayhem shows
Oh, there's all of them sounds.
As the world's smartest professional wrestler, some of the things that I can see and look for might be a little.
This one's shorter. And Mike, I'm just picking the next video. I don't know what the match is until you do.
Sorg, that doesn't make me feel better.
I am putting the show in the hands of the professor.
I love Jake. Can I throw that out there right now? I love that kid, man.
Well, I was having a discussion, and I realized I screwed up the way I said it because I was talking to Principal, and I was like, I was seriously trying to decide between you and Professor to do this gimmick. And I realized I was like, oh, no, your partner's Professor, and that's who you think I'm talking about.
Right.
Kitty.
The cat wrangling is happening on the other end.
Yeah, I just had to clean something up real quick, and now I can't find the cat, but she'll show herself.
How big is your apartment? How you're losing this thing?
Well, that's the thing. Like yesterday, I left and then came back, and was like, "Where the hell's this cat? It can only be in the living room, right?"
Oh.
And so I'm like tearing my recliner apart, being like, "Okay, I know she was up here before," and then, I don't know if she was moving around during this time, but I ended up finding her in a pretty easy spot.
My dog did that to me this morning, maybe yesterday morning. I don't know. And I'm like, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? And he was in this bin that's at the bottom of the stairs, right around the bottom of the stairs. And I kept walking by it.
Yeah.
And he's just looking at me like, what's the problem?
And this thing is, well, it's like, the cat is just completely black. So when I finally found her yesterday, it's like she was sitting right near the leg of one of the legs on my futon, which is black, and just kind of like half wrapped up in a blanket, So it was like, it was one of those where I probably looked down there about 3 times before I closely looked and went, oh, she's just right there.
Squint your eyes, and and there you are.
Do the eye shine thing. Just take a flashlight and shine it around your apartment.
Yeah. Or I have like hardwood floors, so that's the thing. It's like I can shine it on the floor, and then you'll see like shadows and things, So it's like, oh, okay.
Oh. People are people offended that I shared a Sunny Pornhub joke on the group.
People
I wish they had more sunny days.
Is that
are people legit upset about it? Because she sucks.
Yeah, she's been not that great.
Yeah.
Well, it was definitely a deprecating joke. So.
Plus, everyone involved too. Well, Michael's especially.
Yeah, it was the old DX at the In Your House picture.
Oh, was it the one I shared in the prospect chat?
No. That somebody put that in as the comment though. Afterwards, but it's the one where they have that, and you look at the screen, and it's the Sunny upside down whatever on Pornhub that they're looking at.
Yeah, okay. I was thinking it was that picture where they're all squinting.
Honestly,
and looking at
there are worse jokes you could have made.
Yeah.
Have you guys? Are we on the air right now?
We are on the air right now.
Oh, I won't tell this joke. Then.
Okay, we'll tell a joke later.
Yeah, remind me.
The internet is listening.
My bad.
All right, Sorg, show Zach what I found. What did you find, Bobby? Bobby. So Bobby F. J-Town, Zach.
Yeah.
Where am I at with this? Hold on. Let me reset this thing.
He's in the flood. Yeah, I believe, right?
What's that?
He's in the Flood City, I believe, right?
He is in the Flood City. He's the one that informed us about what wrestling was happening in Johnstown. He's the one that introduced us to Man-Child and whatever the hell else. I'm sure your name's come up over the years. So
AON runs again. They started running about a year ago again, and they've been killing it. They've like had sellout shows like every month.
Good. All right, let's roll with it. We're here. It's a Wrestling Mayhem show. We got Zack Rayne with us, the White Rabbit, the victim Zack Rayne. Ronnie Starks is with us too.
Hello.
And Mad Mike. Oh.
Hi.
Hey, he's out there somewhere. There he is. And of course, Rob is still with us, and
yes,
and Kimball, the cat.
Yes, she's currently chewing on my charging cord after not having shown any interest in it at all.
Is that why your video's not showing right now?
No, I was checking the text here real quick.
Okay, no problem. Anyways, it is time for the big question. I know we've done a version of this before, but I think we have context now that there's been a treatment of this is what an in your house redo would be like, and the treatment that they got for that. So returning to an oldie but a goodie, what old pay-per-view, I think more set and theme-wise, would you like to see return in the style of NXT's In Your House?
Well, I'm going to go with the example I've always gone with because we still have not done it.
Mm-hmm.
This year for Survivor Series, especially with it being Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT, I want them to bring back the Ultimate Survivor match.
Yes!
I want an entire match full of Survivor Series style matches. It can be all mixed brands, just make sure the feuds align.
Mm-hmm.
The winners of those matches, whatever team they're on, they get divided into their brands. And the main event is a triple threat tag team match with Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. It's stupid that they haven't done this because we've had brands for a decade now. And we've never done this, and it's always been right there.
Seems so obvious.
And this is like the 30th anniversary of the one time they ever did that too, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was to advance the Hogan Warrior stuff.
It was a fun match too because you can build someone you can if you want to build NXT, have one person from NXT left against 4 from Raw and 3 from SmackDown. There are ways to do it, and God, it's the perfect evolution of a Survivor Series match if the Survivor Series style match is played out. And here's the kicker: you make it worth something. Whatever brand wins gets number 30 in the Rumble.
That would be cool.
And whatever brand is pinned gets number 1.
I like it.
Bobby and Podner, I consider them kind of the same answer, and I'm with them. Cyber Sunday / Taboo Tuesday.
Yep.
Because, and this was a big thing a couple of years ago, they did a lot of the integrated with Raw and SmackDown, live voting kind of situations. And to a point, they still do that. Well, not currently, but the last live show I was at, they actually did that there. Who do you want to be in the women's tag match or something, right? And you pick your teams or something. Or what is the stipulation for this match, which are all just different names for a no DQ match.
Balls count anywhere.
Balls count anywhere. Yeah. Street fight, something
hardcore
else,
match.
or a regular match. They're just are you kidding me right now?
Or the greatest match in professional wrestling.
God. But
can somebody explain that to me when we have time, please?
Can you explain it to me?
Hello.
Totally
have you seen who's involved?
Mm-hmm.
It's a man who has had a singles match for 9 years, and a man who hasn't had a singles match in his career.
Oh boy. But no, having something like that where, and I feel like, we're at this height of social media where you could really make it fun. More so than back when we couldn't figure out how to get the website to work 10 years ago for Cyber Sunday or Taboo Tuesday, because we decided pay-per-views on a Tuesday was a good idea for some reason.
Honestly, I can see NXT doing it and call it Taboo Takeover.
I like that.
NXT Taboo Takeover, I could absolutely see it.
In Texas on Tuesday.
Yeah. Guys, I have mine. You ready?
Okay.
Give me back Halloween Havoc.
Mm-hmm.
And I want the giant pumpkin that says NXT Takeover Halloween Havoc.
Can we get the Slim Jim sponsorship for the polls? Like,
goddamn right we can.
Ronnie, I will co-sign this with you as long as we have the NXT costume battle royal in it.
Yes,
absolutely.
The NXT Chamber of Horrors.
Yes.
I don't know if you can fit that in Full Sail.
Can we put who was the creepy guy that helped out Velveteen Dreams this weekend? I'm not up on him. Dexter Loomis. Can he just be the guy? Like, he has to be like just the guy that does the electric chair gimmick. Because it just really
he'll never blink. He'll just have his hand on the electric chair handle.
Yeah.
And just as he kills a man, he just never blinks. He's like,
well, that's because someone has to hold the handle up, because when you're not looking, that handle will just fall and supposedly activate the chair, but nothing happens.
Supposedly.
Listen, any levers are great because it just gives Matthew more ammunition. Jesus.
all of this. Zach, is there anything you want to bring back?
I keep trying to come up with a secondary one after everybody's, and then everyone keeps taking my answer.
Welcome to the game.
World of the big question.
I think mine's still safe.
No, I know that they've tried to do Bash at the Beach. I always really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Although I have wrestled at a beach, I don't recommend it.
Did you have sand in all those wrong places?
The ring is like bumping on gravel and sandpaper. It's awful.
Oh.
What did you watch AEW's Bash at the Beach?
I didn't get to watch it. No, I really want to.
It was
something.
It was interesting.
Not good descriptors, boys.
They had lifeguards for some unknown reason.
I like that idea, actually.
I'm looking it up because I can't remember what they did.
Yeah, it was okay. It was.
No, I really like the Survivor Series idea, like a lot. So I'm on board with that. I'm just gonna add like my tally mark to it.
I've been touting that fucking Survivor Series match for a decade now. Like, as soon as we went to brands, I'm like, we can do this again, and it would be easy. They even create a bragging rights trophy that the winning brand can have if you want them to hold up something.
How about I mean, it's not a WWE thing that's been done, but it's like my favorite thing ever. King of Trios is like my jam.
Mm-hmm.
We have 300 wrestlers on 3 brands.
Yeah.
Like, we can make this happen.
I'm with you on that. And you know what? And you know what to do? If you do King of Trios, every trio has to be one person from each brand.
That would be cool.
I mean, the closest you have to that is the Mixed Match Challenge, but like, man, you can do so much with that.
And it'd be interesting because you could see like certain stables maybe you haven't seen in a long time. You know, just I mean, I can't think of anyone that's totally active now. But oh god, oh yeah,
I'd love to see
blanking on it. But you might have guys that tagged a long time ago that haven't because either they broke up the teams or they've been on different brands and stuff, where you could get kind of a mix of that again.
I would love to see, WWE would be like, if WWE would just go off and just say, hey, we're just going to do trios for a whole month and do a round robin tournament in New Japan style, right? Like, that would make me want to tune into all 3 nights of wrestling they do every week, right? But I feel like the ones that would be closer to doing it is AEW, as much as they're influenced by the Japanese brands. Not under the current like TV deals or anything like that, but if they had something where, there was an Honor Club or there was but I know they halfway have it with Fight TV with the AEW Plus, so maybe that would be a selling point for that, and have these kind of special trio shows, and have something big. Also, I don't think their roster is big enough, but obviously they can bring in whoever they want at this point, right? So, but I would love to see something like that happen here. Kind of stretch because
I think AEW is closer to being able to do Battle Bowl.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
Like that's another one that'd be really fun.
For those that don't know and don't remember, what was the Battle Bowl concept?
Battle Bowl was everyone just random teams, a random tag team tournament.
You mean a lethal lottery like the Quarantine Challenge?
Yeah.
And then all the winners from the matches went on to like a battle royal or something like that.
I think it was something like that. Yeah.
So there'd be like 16 guys in it or something, or 8, or I forget what it was, but.
Well, here, just checked in on the Wikipedia page. So they were drawn randomly in a lethal lottery. Members of the winning teams would advance to the Battle Bowl Battle Royal main event. And that was, let's see, Vader, who was already the champion at the time of the show, received a ring for winning the tournament. There you go.
I want to say Sting won another one too, and
yeah, they have a couple. There was one
that was his gimmick for a while.
There was one Battle Bowl event in 1993, but the concept was also a part of Slamboree and a couple of Starcades from the looks of things.
Okay, because I was going to say, I think I remembered specifically Starcade.
Yeah.
Because that was weird, because for that to be their big tentpole pay-per-view of the year, sometimes like they would just do random stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Yeah. Starcade really lacked identity, I think, for the longest time. Yeah, especially after like WrestleMania started getting their lunch on being like the big wrestling event. Right.
And it's almost, speaking of Halloween Havoc, it's almost like Halloween Havoc became their signature pay-per-view, you know?
Because it stuck out.
People really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't understand why they didn't, you know, like we've had Hell in the Cell, for like a decade now?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know why they don't just call that October pay-per-view, you know, Halloween Havoc, and just do Hell in the Cell matches the whole time. You know, it would go with the theme, kind of what they're doing.
Their branding is just so I when they started just making the pay-per-views the gimmick.
Yeah.
Right? Hell in a Cell, Elimination Chamber, like that really, I don't know. It's stupid marketing to me.
I always felt like having multiples of the same match on any show or anything too close, it kind of kills it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I remember being on a show like a long time ago, and we had built up to a like a bull rope match, like the four, you know, you have to tag the four corners and stuff. And then like after building this up for like 4 months, the morning of the show they decided to add a dog collar match to the same show, and it just like sucked the life out of the audience. And it was so weird. I just think, like, I don't know, I feel like when you give them too close of something like that, it doesn't feel as special.
And also, like, when you have, like, say, Hell in a Cell, they've got 3 Hell in a Cell matches or whatever, right? You're pretty much not going to have it anytime the rest of the year. You know, so there might be points in people's feuds or whatever where they're culminating at a different point where, like, you know, in April might be a good time to blow off this feud with a Hell in a Cell match or a ladder match or something, you know, but because they've, like, again, they've jammed them all into one show.
So are you saying that... So are you saying that, and this may be radical thinking, that maybe you shouldn't start a feud with the last man standing match at a WrestleMania only to transition to a normal one-on-one match?
You mean only if it's going to be the greatest wrestling match ever?
Okay, as long as there's an exception. As long as there's an exception to the rule.
I mean, that's the only, you know, that's the only place to go after.
After that. Like, I still do not understand the logic of that of this entire thing, because it's not like Randy is saying that Edge can't hang in a one-on-one match.
Yes.
Okay, fine. I'll buy that, except their match at WrestleMania was 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, it was the length of 20 Undertaker entrances.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it was the length of one Randy Orton rest hold. Like, it was a long match.
Plus each of these guys,
if this match isn't an hour and a half, it is built to nothing.
And then each of these guys have had their share of WrestleMania moments. So again, what else is there to shoot for? I don't know. Let's have the greatest match ever in a fucking random June, you know, pay-per-view with no people around.
In a backlash, Well,
in an event that Joey Styles is not good enough to call.
Yeah.
Listen, if Saturday's taught me anything, is that you can always pull something out that will be crazier than the thing that just happened right before.
No.
Right?
But that's a shoot, brother.
Anyway, so from the chat where Bobby F. J Town says NXT Takeover Lethal Leap Year. Did everybody get their thing out?
Yeah.
Everybody?
Oh wait, no. I was, as far as because you're saying the return of like a set or a show or whatever.
Yeah, a theme.
I'm not so much the theme, but I like the well, maybe kind of, because it only happens with like a couple shows a year. You get like WrestleMania. It used to be Royal Rumble used to have like kind of their own kind of real theme to. I mean, not theme, but it would they might do stuff like 20 years ago when it was in New York, and they had the cabs and they had all the like a localized theme to it. And there's a fucking reason why you can play, SmackDown or WWE 2K, whatever, and they have stuff like that as like you can choose that stage. You can do that because people remember that shit. You know?
Yeah. Versus now, it's just like it's all video screens.
Yeah, like you could say Royal Rumble 2000, and you go, "Oh, okay, yeah, I remember that one." So it's just like when, and again, it wasn't the same every year. Like you had Backlash, you had Armageddon and stuff, where you had those sets, but then you also had the sets within the set.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that more places, and I know there are companies that do it, but I'm surprised more companies don't have like a set event that happens a set month every single year. Like obviously some do it, like IWC has Super Indy, like Eclipse has the Chalice Chase tournament. Like there's some out there, but like as popular as the Royal Rumble it is, you would think that every company would have their own.
So you do have KSWA does the Battle Bowl. RWA has the same event every month, every year, but that doesn't really come. I mean, it's like Seasons Meetings is your December show, March to Victory is your March show, like stuff like that. And sometimes they'll play into it, but not a lot,
And as much as we rag on it too, like the on the nose WWE naming, like Hell in a Cell, TLC, whatever, it's like at least what's on that show.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you go,
if you look up like Unforgiven 98, you don't know what's on it.
Yeah, you don't know what or Battleground. It's like the fuck is that?
Yeah.
What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything.
I used to really like Absolute Intense Wrestling for that reason. I remember like even as like whenever I was like a rookie, I used to always go out to watch the show that they had their Rumble, like their version of it. In fact, I think it came down to Chest Flexor and and Johnny Gargano the last time I actually got to go out there.
Holy shit. It was a Gauntlet for the Gold that they do?
Maybe. You guys thought it was another joke coming.
It's like, wait for it.
Sorry, we may have pulled the trigger on that one.
It's like you're setting it.
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
We're getting way too inside baseball on this. I just watched your close up happening on all the screens on delay in front of me, and it just freaked me out. The Instagram is especially disturbing because it's a vertical video. Damn it, I can't use any of these clips. All right, that's enough of that. We have a homework assignment.
Oh, God.
That Mike enjoyed. Our homework assignment from Professor Jacob Edwin was Sting versus Diamond Dallas Page, April 26, 1999. I think I got that date right off the top of my head. This was a Nitro. This was not the last match on the show. It was about halfway through the show. And I loved this match by itself. A little context I'm looking at, because one thing I do like about the network right now is you get to see chapters on the show. I see that we start with Ric Flair and the mental institution on this one. So that gives you an idea about where we're at in WCW history.
So
Mike,
let me tell you about this match.
Tell me a story about this match. Tell me about Sting and Diamond Dallas Page.
So this match, it's actually pretty good. It's pretty good. It's
they fucking went at it.
It was Nitro 1999. Yeah. To be fair, I was not expecting much. But it's the best Sting and DDP match you're probably ever gonna see.
Peak DDP.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know peak DDP because I never really liked him too much as a heel, which he is in this match. And the match is really good. Like it's got a clean finish, which is nice. It teaches you that the counter to any RKO or Diamond Cutter is just grabbing a rope. Like it's literally the counter is standing. The counter is standing.
Wait,
you're not supposed to do it out of the corner.
I like that finish though. I
like the finish a lot too.
Yeah,
and I remember watching this finish live.
Mm-hmm.
But now, see, because I'm a bit of a good student, I was trying to rack my brains. I'm like, I don't remember this legendary Sting WCW Championship run. I don't remember. I don't remember it. So, Sorg, what I did, I had an inkling. I had an idea in my brain. Because last week when we talked about this, we did over-under number of run-ins during the match.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert, there were no run-ins in this match.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
and
rare,
how.
rare for 1999 WCW
Yes,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Even a pay-per-view.
But then I saw this was in the middle of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, because, spoiler alert, Sting won the championship from DDP in the middle of a Nitro. Like, I'm talking hour 1.5.
In a fucking...
Was it in the... Did it happen to be when Raw was coming on?
I believe so. So that makes sense. But
okay.
So like you said, Sorg, there are chapters to the show.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, let's just see what's at the end of this show. Sorg, do you know that there is a second WCW Championship match on this same Nitro?
You know what, man? I didn't even have to look at the end. I was like, I bet there's a 3 or 4 way for the same championship at the end of the show.
Sorg, do you know how long this reign of Sting lasts?
An hour and a half.
Yep. And he loses it thanks to the Macho Man Randy Savage helping out heel DDP. God. Fuck this match. 20 minutes for nothing. And I looked, I'm like, this better not have been the last championship reign of Sting.
No.
It's not. He wins it again in September and loses it in a month because he gets stripped of the title due to some bullshit with Goldberg.
Oh no.
Can
that
we
was still
stop
probably the longest
with these
reign of the Russo era.
WCW matches? Can we stop with them? There is a reason this company is defunct.
They're still doing the same thing on a different brand.
Yeah.
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 There's a reason this company went out of business. It made a lot of shitty choices.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. A lot of bait and switch. A lot of that. A lot of like.
No, there isn't even bait and switch. It's just switch and switch at this point. There's no bait, Sorg. It's like when you're playing Animal Crossing and you're fishing, but there's no bait on the hook.
Zach, what were your thoughts? You watched this today.
So I'm a big DDP guy. So I was surprised. I thought I remembered this match, but I didn't remember it being as good. But maybe it was because like I haven't seen it in so long. But I was like, oh man, this is like pretty stinking solid. And I'll tell you what I really liked was, again, like people were pooping on the ending. I thought the ending was like stellar because like Bill Collier actually was the one that used to hammer this into our heads. Was he used to say that like there's a way to do things and you have to do it that way until you don't have to anymore, and then that's when you surprise people. And I think it was his way of being like, chill out until you know more and you get better, and then you can bend the rules. But like I felt like that ending, I didn't see that coming. Like, you know what I mean? Like I didn't expect the counter the way it was and all that, and I thought it was great.
Yeah. And again, it was just like a hook on the rope to not take the cutter, and then he pulled him back into the Scorpion Death Drop, right out of nowhere. And this is after a good series of false finishes, probably. Right.
The opening was great. I thought that was like as close to like an American strong style match as you could possibly get. Like especially the first like 4 or 5 minutes. Awesome stuff. Like seriously, like young guys should like watch that and like see how like basic stuff can be like still very cool.
It was also, they spent a lot of time out by the entrance too. I thought it was interesting. Which always is like, why aren't we, the refs just hanging out there? We're not counting. There's all that argument too. But no, it made it seem strong. I was worried because at the beginning of this match, I'm looking at Sting, and maybe it's because he knew, from knowing that he had another match in an hour. He had a look in his face like what the fuck am I about to do?
He had the same look when he had to wrestle Jeff Hardy in TNA.
But here we go.
Like, I know. I agree.
Yeah. But hey, in the meantime, they had some good wrestling. Yeah, there was another thing that he noted, and just recalling, and this may be my member berries going, but we for years we've watched Raw and kind of talked about how boring it is, right? I don't remember ever being bored in this era of 3-hour WCW Nitros.
Nope.
Or no.
There was a lot of.
I remember being pissed. You don't. I wasn't always happy about what was happening, but I wasn't bored. Sorry, Rob.
But the thing is, though, there was so much going. It was all like really, for the most part, like really short matches or other stuff going on, to where it was just a faster paced 3 hours, whether you liked what was going on or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like we're showing 5 minutes of a match, going to commercial, then a full segment of a match, and then a commercial, and then, the end of the match and the first 2 minutes of a segment, and then it's a lot faster paced. And like I said, even if you didn't necessarily like what was going on, and they did some shit at that time that was lame. Like, it seemed like at times they'd give up on that first hour of Nitro, or it would be like nothing but promos and setting up stuff with no wrestling, in that first hour.
And a cruiserweight match.
Or that at least. Yeah, but there were times I remember when it was just, and this was at the height of all the NWO stuff, where they would have like the first hour was nothing but just NWO bullshit with like with like backstage segments and things like that, to where it's like it might not necessarily have been stuff that dragged, but just it's like, oh, at least this is at least it's gonna be over quick.
that era too, like, as much as it had negative stuff, I think it enforced like one of my pet peeves, which was I thought that they did one of the things they did really well was the clear-cut division lines. Like, there were guys that you knew were only going to be wrestling in certain divisions, certain type of matches, and then anytime they deviated from that, it felt like a huge deal. Like, when a cruiserweight got to compete in something else because they did really well, you were like, holy crap. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or like, even, I don't know why, like one of the guys that always stood out to me in that was Buff Bagwell. Like, he was always that mid-card guy. And then, like, you could tell that point where we can't keep him in the mid-card anymore. The crowd likes him too much. And when he finally showed, like, he came out to challenge somebody that wasn't in his division, the whole place lost their minds. I miss that.
He lose.
Well, I mean,
or when you would have like guys like Ben,
I agree that they
get a
did.
shot, Oh, sorry.
No, sorry. I agree. They did like separate the divisions very well, but that also, if you don't move anyone out of those divisions, then everyone's the same. Like, you need to have. I feel like you need to have some fluidity in your roster. Like, TNA, ironically, was really good at that.
Yeah.
TNA was really good at that. We may have not liked all the stories and stuff, but
X Division Kevin Nash.
I wish that they would have done
we may not have liked all the stories, but like,
or you had
we
like
got
main
world
event,
champion
like
Eric Young
once in a while,
Yeah, exactly. But Sorg, do you want to hear the ratings breakdown from?
Oh
that
no, this was that era, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
How did that work out? I love it. Good.
So, Nitro did a 3.9.
Okay.
3.9 for that week. Raw pulled a 6.
Shit.
Do you want to hear this Raw that obliterated Nitro?
Do it.
Are you ready for this? All right, here we go.
I got a question after that too.
The opening match, Kane and X-Pac against the Brood, in a hot 2-minute 35-second match. D'Lo Brown versus Val Venus in a hot 3 minutes 20-second match. Triple H defeated Billy Gunn with less than 7 minutes of wrestling.
Okay.
Mankind and the Big Show defeated Test and the Boss Man, less than 5 minutes of wrestling.
Ooh.
The Godfather beat Jeff Jarrett to not only retain the Intercontinental Championship, but win Deborah's services as a hoe in
I don't remember that.
in under 2 minutes. Under 2 minutes,
wow.
mind you. And the last two matches are both no contests. Bradshaw versus Ken Shamrock, no contest. Also, no time given. Thanks, Pro Wrestling Wiki, assholes. And the main event in a hot 3-minute match, The Rock versus Shane McMahon. No contest.
Jeez.
Was this coming out of? I mean, I don't think anything big happened at it, but when was Backlash? Was that have been that
We're
weekend?
obsessed with Backlash.
Backlash?
No.
You talking about Backlash?
Well, no. I'm just saying, was that like the post? You know, like the Monday after a pay-per-view or something?
I don't think so, because the week before, the main event was Big Show versus Viscera. So,
and when was SmackDown?
Wait,
when was the SmackDown pilot? Was that like the week before?
It may be. So wait. I gotta hold for a second because I pulled up WWE Network because I was gonna see what the pay-per-view was around there, and I just saw that there's a Best of the Nexus that they just posted. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's like the anniversary of the Nexus.
Oh wow! Look at all those.
I'm gonna watch that.
Look at all those armbands and unfulfilled careers.
It's been 10 years. Holy shit!
Jeez.
Who's left out of Nexus?
None of them.
Daniel
Oh, no.
Bryan.
Oh, Daniel Bryan, yeah.
Kind of Otunga.
No, Titus was the next.
No, yeah, Titus wasn't in this group. This version.
Yeah,
Dude, I loved Wade Barrett.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Jeez.
Like, yeah, Sorg, there wasn't anything, I don't think.
Oh, you guys go on because I'm just gonna watch the Nexus.
You ever watch this?
Yeah, the young
man. Oh, the main event of this is Barrett and Randy Orton at Survivor Series 2010.
Was
Nice.
that when Cena had to ref it or something?
Yes, it looks like he is.
Hey,
Okay.
Sorg, do you know what's on the week of Raw after this show?
What?
Nicole Bass versus Deborah in a nightgown match.
Oh my.
Ooh.
Oh, I
12 seconds long.
Why do
Nobody
I
asked
remember
for
that? No.
Honestly, she lasted longer than I thought she would.
What year was that?
But
again?
just running down that card.
99.
That was like peak Union.
99.
No, that wasn't the Union, I don't think.
Was it?
Because remember, Big Show just showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Like in
That's Paul White.
like
Yeah.
February.
Big Show just showed up in February of that year.
Did he show up during the cage match? Like, oh my god, it's Paul
Yeah,
White.
he came out from under the ring
He was
and
big nasty Paul White, right?
Yeah.
well, do you know why he was called the Big Show?
Mm-hmm.
Why? I don't even know what the
Mhm.
gimmick is.
Because the initials are TBS.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Big Show was Voodoo Kid Mafia before Voodoo Kid Mafia was cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty funny.
All right.
I like the video.
Well,
We're still waiting.
we do have another assignment from the professor.
Ooh.
When do I get to give him an assignment?
Of that.
Ironically, it's
Ooh.
Deborah versus Nicole Bass from.
Hey, 12
You're-
seconds.
Wouldn't that be
Woohoo!
amazing? Wouldn't that be amazing? So here we are. Let's find out our next assignment from the professor.
Hello, my name is Professor Jacob Edwin. This is the Wrestling Mayhem Show's weekly assignment. Now, as the world's smartest professional wrestler, some of the things that I can see and look for might be a little above your host and guest host head. So let's dumb it down a little bit. Let's get a little more violent. This is probably my favorite ladder match of all time that I wasn't in. This is July 1st, 2002. The Undertaker defending his WWE Championship against Jeff Hardy.
Ooh.
Please enjoy.
Oh,
This was American Badass
Okay.
Undertaker.
This
Yeah.
I know this match. I've seen this match fairly recently. This match is great.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I would review the match right now.
this match is fantastic. I'm happy to watch this one again.
This was seriously a perfect textbook example of how to build a babyface without like doing anything to like make your champion look weak at all. It was amazing.
Absolutely.
I can
Like,
still
honestly-
hear JR saying,
Yeah.
"Reach for the stars, kid. Make yourself famous."
Yeah, like I still see like Jeff Hardy pulling himself up after the match and Taker walking back, and you think he's gonna beat the shit out of Hardy again, and he just pats him on the back of the head like, "Good job, kid."
Height.
Honestly,
honestly,
everything
Taker,
for Jeff
right?
Hardy after this match plummeted. For me.
Yeah.
Everything involving Jeff Hardy, with the exception of Willow. With the exception of Willow, plummeted after this match.
Wow.
That's the most sarcastic thing I've ever heard in my life.
Oh no, I love Willow. Oh no, you should go back and check out the lore of this show when Willow was a thing. It was the only thing that kept me going on Impact, because EC3 and Rockstar Spud hunting Willow in the woods.
Oh
yes, and please.
Yes.
I can pinpoint, and I think it was right around the exact same time. I can pinpoint when I tuned out of that whole product. And it was Nigel McGuinness getting the most votes for a title shot, not getting the title shot, and then everyone got so mad that they had to give him a title shot, and then they squashed him in 2 minutes. And I was like, I'm out. The best in the world just got beaten like 3 minutes. I'm out.
What was it? Alexander Wolf, was it? Was that his name?
No,
Alexander Wolf was the guy in Sanity.
It was something Wolf. It was definitely
Desmond Wolf.
Desmond
Wolf. Which honestly, not a bad name. But
no, Desmond Wolf was Nigel, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Now we were talking about with Nitro with Sting wins the title and then loses it again the same show, right? Did the same thing happen to Rey Mysterio?
Probably.
It was like because I want to say it was like the week that Punk was gone, or after he'd left with the belt.
Oh,
and they had a
yeah.
Come up with the new champion,
and then John Cena won the belt from Ray.
Yeah,
and
Ray
then
won it.
Punk
And
came
then
back out.
Cena-
Yeah.
And then Cena immediately challenged him for it. I just don't remember if it was the same show. Or
I think it was the same night. It was the same
all
night.
All that happened
yeah.
at once.
SmackDown.
Yeah.
It was not only the same show. I think Punk came back after that.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
Right after the segment, he came back.
Tina's saying, "What did the professor get from the dark web on you, Sorg?" And apparently agreement from Ponder. Well, guys, it's time to find out what you learned from wrestling this week. Zach, what can you tell us you learned from wrestling this week?
I learned that you should always make sure Marshall knows what's going on, because he's a lot more rational than any of the veterans.
Jeez. Yeah, there's that. I don't know. A lot of the vets liked it, so
Super Hentai at least. So that's
Super Hentai loves it.
Mark.
Yep.
I wish we could say what was going on, but I have
know.
to quote this for the guys in here just so they know. Whenever we were trying to decide whether or not we could talk about the thing we can't talk about, Elijah Dean said we should definitely show everyone so they know Prospect Pro doesn't screw around.
Okay, all right. Ronnie,
I promise.
Ronnie, what'd you learn from wrestling this week?
I'm gonna go with my brother there and agree that the greatest storyline ever is about to happen at a place, and I'm so pumped about it, and I'm not even involved with the fucking place.
Oh, there you go. It's like the Snyder cut of professional wrestling.
Yes.
Sword, we don't even know what that is.
The sword cut.
And Sword, there are no reshoots on that, so you never know.
Mad Mike, what'd you learn?
I learned that I never thought I'd say this. I miss Roman Reigns.
Whoa! Hey, that's okay.
I feel like if Roman Reigns was around now, we wouldn't have Charlotte on 3 shows.
Mike, it's okay.
That I agree with.
Mike, it's okay. Pull up your Netflix and watch the first 10 minutes of The Wrong Missy. I found him.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hey, Sword, can you tell me why I got chewed out so bad over the Oscar thing?
Wait.
Wait.
What did you say about our precious baby Oscar?
Okay.
No.
Wait. Before you get to that, related to that, Bobby F. J. Town learned that Charlotte is losing the NXT title was a setup just for her to beat Asuka again on Raw and anger me, and that takeover was awesome. So I did want to bring up Asuka, and I was going to give you a little jab to figure out what was going on with that. So, Zach, you got a lot of heat this weekend for something you said about Asuka.
So I stand by this.
Okay. You're about to get a fan.
Asuka is greater than 3 Charlotte Flairs, and I was immediately met at 6:00 in the morning by Elijah Dean, who's told me, Zach, it's way too early to be doing drugs.
Okay, hold on. I am going to give you crap because Asuka is greater than 6 Charlotte Flairs.
No, I'm down. Dude, and this is where they thought they were going to jump on me for this, and I wasn't going to stand my ground, but she's in my top 5 favorite workers of all time. And I didn't say best, so people will run me down about that.
Mm-hmm.
But she's easily in my top 5. She's my favorite female worker of all time. Her NXT run, it might be my favorite run of all time. So I stand by it, and I don't care.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite underrated matches of the last 5 years, and never gets any play at all, even though it fucking deserves it, is the last woman standing match she had with Nikki Cross.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good.
Fucking great. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it was because it was around the time where NXT, the women's division, was kind of in flux because they had just lost a lot of people, and Asuka was left to kind of shoulder some people who weren't quite ready yet.
And they were all still good matches.
Yeah, they were all still good matches. Like, Asuka is still the only person to carry Nia Jax to passable matches.
Yep.
I am excited for Backlash because they've had good matches. They have good chemistry. I think that match is going to be good.
The first time they worked each other, Asuka literally just beat the brakes off her, and it was fantastic. It was awesome.
Yeah. I hope we get that again. I really do.
This was the only thing that made me mad out of all of it. Well, Roden will ride me, about stuff because we're close. But the guys, they all came out of the woodwork that were like, you probably are one of those Jossie weirdos, and I'm like, no, I'm not at all. That's how good Asuka is. She like made me care about that stuff. Like she's the man.
All right, clipping that one out. So, all right.
Honestly, Charlotte,
good.
We need a break. We need a break from Charlotte. Like,
yeah.
We need, although I have to say, one of the funniest posts I saw this past week is that the NBA Charlotte Hornets have renamed their team to the Charlotte Flares and have already been granted an NBA Finals series with the Lakers. So that's good for them.
I wouldn't be shocked at this point.
No.
Yeah.
No. Where are we at? Who didn't go yet on what you learned? Rob?
I hadn't gone yet.
Rob?
I learned that I like this the kind of choose your own adventure kind of stuff that comes from the having the stuff that happened at the show this last weekend and kind of figuring out
choose your own
how
adventure.
we're going to make something work that didn't necessarily work, and how we've just mentally thought of dragging in like half the roster to make sense of something that isn't allowed to make sense. I don't know.
Okay, you just presented me with a new way to present that one storyline too.
How not having a crowd and we wouldn't have been able to do that.
No.
I would have never even thought about it.
No. Anyways,
to retroactively make something else maybe out of it. I don't know. That wasn't planned.
And by all of this, we're talking about Zeke Mercer and Stevie LaBelle having a shoot wrestling match, obviously.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
We didn't see that coming.
Yeah. They had a shoot wrestling match or a shoot martial arts match. That's what all the references have been about this entire show. I'm just want to clarify, since I know we've been very inside baseball and inside joke about this. That's what it was, and we're going to talk to Zeke next week about that actually. So see, I mean that's all. That's all. Right, Zach? Right, Zach? Right, Zach?
That.
I'm legally obligated to say yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, just don't miss the mark on it.
No, okay. And from the chat room, Bobby O says Asuka versus Ember Moon, also very underrated feud. Podner relearned that pay-per-view should be under 2.5 hours. Yes. And geez, he's really excited about that comment. So there you go. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Zack Rayne. First time on the Wrestling Mayhem show officially. Where can people go find out what's going on with you?
I am old in the grand scheme of things, so just Facebook, because I hate all that other stuff. Get off my lawn.
There you go. Follow him, and of course check out a lot of his matches on Indie Wrestling Network, IndieWrestling.us, YouTube as well. Great three-way match he had with Zeke Mercer and Miles Monroe actually recently that I think got featured maybe on Grind City. That's in rotation on Roku. So look out for that. It was definitely on the watch along, one of the watch alongs for 2PW. Ronnie Starks. Are you still appearing on the Facebooks anywhere? Is that still happening?
I still have the Facebooks. I know I'm supposed to, quote, keep it kayfabe and not, like, post on Facebook, but
what?
Fuck that storyline.
No, let me see your Ghostbuster toys. Come on.
Oh, no, Ghostbusters toys, yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, let them show it on the Facebook. You don't have to show them now. We already.
Oh, no, I mean...
We already did that spot. Yep. The hell? It's like, no, there they are, over there. Yes.
Oh, they're there in that mess. I got some Baby Yodas over
there.
I
meant to say, are you promoting anything on Facebook that's happening that you are involved in still? I don't know if you're still doing anything.
Well, I have that podcast with Tyler Klein. We're doing that.
Yeah, we're figuring out a schedule for that. Yes.
Yeah, we got to do another one. And then this Friday, you guys can see me on Facebook Live for Real Shoot Wrestling at 10 o'clock.
There you go.
In Morgantown, West Virginia.
There you go.
So, yeah.
Sorg, I learned one more thing. I just found out why that Raw did so much better. That was the Dark Wedding.
Oh.
With Stephanie.
I forgot that was happening right around that time.
Because I was like, there had to be something. Because I was just looking at the matches.
It wasn't the matches. It was never the matches. There had to be
fucking something, but it was the Dark Wedding. That's okay. That makes a lot more sense now. Because that's a Raw moment.
Yeah,
that's a fucking moment that we all remember.
Absolutely.
Like, okay, that makes a lot more sense now.
Thanks, everybody. Hope you guys had fun. Again, I will recommend, we mentioned last night, New Day podcast. Listen to that today if you want some perspective on things going on with, a lot of the protests and things going on now with George Floyd and Black Lives Matter. I think it's a very good, I feel like it's very important to kind of introduce it to a lot of people that maybe have not been concerned with that through the lens of professional wrestling. And I think hearing those stories from people you like, that you've watched and seen grow in wrestling, like the New Day, it was a very powerful podcast, a very powerful hour. So I definitely highly recommend that. And
going off that, I also highly recommend Fat Man Beyond. Fat Man Beyond? Fat Man Beyond with Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin, where they talk about all the Black Lives Matter stuff too.
Good.
Both, I listened to them both back to back. Both excellent resources to educate yourself.
Yeah.
In what's going on in different aspects, and to hear it from people who live with it and get real and emotional with it, and it's good to stay informed.
Absolutely. That as Fat Man on Batman. God, I can't say it. It's also a podcast. It should be in your feed if you're into geeky things. If you listen to us rant about anime and Gotham on Monday nights, then that should probably be in your feed too. So thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time. Mayhem out. All right. Thank you for sticking around in there. Zach, I figured out what Bobby wanted me to show you.
I was wondering because we dropped that storyline and I was confused.
The Project 13?
Yeah.
He has a logo that he dropped in here, I guess.
Oh, that's awesome. So, this is just us now?
Not yet, but I can go just us.